Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV and the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. Today, I'm telling you that little hinges swing big doors. Are you ready? Let's get started. My mentor said that to me over and over. Kevin, little hinges swing big doors. He was telling me that little things matter. I later learned that the idea and the phrase didn't originate with him, but it came from W. Clement Stone, a well-known business person and entrepreneur from times past. Let me give you some examples of this idea of little hinges swinging big doors. First of all, imagine someone makes an introduction of someone else to you. It's a good day for you. You enjoyed that person. You decide to follow up with them and maintain that connection. And sometime down the road, you got a new job. And perhaps that introduction became a turning point in your life or career. Listening more. Perhaps you've decided that today you're not going to talk so much, or maybe you just chose to listen more on a given day rather than talk, and good things happened. It's a little thing, right? Good things happen, though, when you listened a little bit more than you talked. I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. Third one. Let's say you've decided you want to lose some weight, so no more soda. And so you decide you're going to stop drinking carbonated soda as a part of you wanting to lose some weight. And voila, perhaps you did. It was just a little thing, made a difference. Little hinges, you see, swing big doors. Now, you may be thinking about a book that was written a number of years ago called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. This book sold lots of copies, and I understand the point, and I can nod in agreement with it. Heck, I read the book. But I also agree with little hinges swing big doors. I also agree with Bruce Barton, who wrote this, and I love this. Listen to this. Sometimes when I consider what tremendous consequences come from little things, I am tempted to think there are no little things. Now you're saying, Kevin, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth at the same time. We've got don't sweat the small stuff, but there are no little things. What are you talking about? Well, both of these things can be true. The challenge is figuring out which of the little things we need to sweat and which of those we don't. So let me unpack the paradox for a minute and help you think about figuring out which are the little hinges that will swing a big door for you. All right, here they are. First, focus on fundamental principles. Remember my example a minute ago about listening more? Like, we all know that when we really listen, we have better communication. We know that when we really listen, we probably build relationships. We know that when we really listen, we probably learn something. Guess what? If we would just listen a little bit more, a lot of good things could happen. It's a fundamental principle. And so what I would say is that when you realize something is a fundamental principle about how the world works, about how our brains work, about our habits, whatever that might be, that when you figure out those fundamental principles, chances are there's a little hinge in there. And so think about that. Second, explore past successes and look for hinges. So here's the thing. When you have successes and you look back at what happened, you'll say, well, I did this. And then you look at another success, you look back and say, well, I did this. I'm doing this thing sometimes. I need to make that more conscious, right? So look at your past successes to figure out what worked when you succeeded, and there may be those little things. So then, once you know what those are, what do? Keep using those hinges. My mentor kept saying that to me because, Kevin, it's those little things that make a difference. Little hinges swing big doors. What are the little things that matter? Once you figure them out, keep using them. Don't stop. Keep using them. So, my best way for me to summarize today is to simply tell you again, little hinges swing big doors. Let me close with today's tweet. Little hinges swing big doors. What hinges do you need to focus on today? Now, you may already subscribe to this Remarkable TV feed. Maybe you found this by chance, or maybe you're listening to this on the podcast. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you could see me do these several weeks before they show up on the podcast. So you could get the visual piece, like seeing a hinge today. And you can subscribe. So every week this will show up in your email and you can see, hey, it's another Remarkable TV episode. And every week we're right here with another episode. So why don't you join us? Subscribe now to Remarkable TV. We'll be back next week with another episode here and, of course, on the Remarkable Leadership Podcast.